tonight. I am really a stickler, really anal about getting started on time. And I know several people have contacted me and said that they were running a little late, and I understand. I know Dr. Breck comes all the way from LaGrange, and I know I come all the way from Hall County, and we have traveled afar. And just so glad to have each and every one of you here, and the graduates that are here, and letting you sit with your families tonight. These are not just graduates, they are employees, staff. They're about to embark upon a new journey in the world of hearing and eye and so much more. We have a wonderful program tonight. I had a very, very dear friend of mine. You'll see his name on the itinerary, and I'm gonna cut it off in just a minute. Yeah, and that's the Baptist in me. That's the preacher in me. We like a little music, and then we go into the little interlude. And but I did visit Catholic church for a good little while, and I really liked it. You can get in and out of there in 20 minutes, and you don't have to worry about all of that music. So I just want to make sure that I kind of give you a little bit of combination of both tonight. But so glad that everyone is here tonight. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. But we're here. I'm really, really a stickler about making sure that we make the main thing the main thing. And so I talked to a very dear friend of mine tonight, Pastor Kevin Bealey, senior pastor of Berean Christian Center in Gwinnett County. And Kevin, and I see the major nodding his head, he knows Kevin Bealey very well, and he's a very, very dear friend of mine. So he called me Kevin called me at 4 o'clock. He said, Doc, I'm on my way to Buckhead. I said, let me ask you a question, my brother. He said, what's that? I said, where are you right now? He said, I'm in Gwinnett. I said, stand down. I said, the traffic is horrible. I said, I love you too much to make you suffer that. And so I just need, because you're coming with us to Washington, D.C., you'll be at the golf event, and on and on and on. So I think you should spend a little time with your wife tonight. So I may not be Kevin B. Lee, and they looked for the butcher, and then they called up the baker. They couldn't even reach the candlestick maker, so here I am. So I'm going to pray real quick. If you'll just bow your head, and we're going to look towards the hills from which cometh our help, for our help cometh from the Lord. Father God, we come to you right now. In the name of Jesus, we thank you for this time of fellowship. We thank you for this time of gathering. But most importantly, we thank you for these students. I think it was you, dear Father, that said if a man doesn't work, he or she shouldn't eat. And I understand that you said that you would make your disciples fishers of men. 3/4 of your disciples were fishermen. And they fished for a living. And that's how they were able to sustain their families. So Jesus, we embark to do what you have done, and we're teaching these young men and women how to fish. And so we pray that you would show us where the fish are biting, and show us how to be skillful fishermen. But not just how to fish, but how to navigate through life. And we thank you tonight that this is not just about gathering and getting, but how to dispense love and peace and goodwill towards all men. And so we ask you and we invoke your presence to be in this place today. Less of us and more of you, and we'll be careful to give your name the glory, the honor, and the praises in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we pray. And the children of God and the people of God say hallelujah and amen. Once again, I want to say welcome. I want to welcome each and every one of you. Definitely want to acknowledge our guests at this time. And then we're going to move expeditiously right into our session for tonight, or our ceremony. We have with us tonight, as I look around the room, we have Gwinnett County Supreme Court Justice Vertichovin. That's as high as you can go in the great state of Georgia, the Peach State. We ask you to stand and take your bow, Justice. Come on, y'all, put your hands together. She didn't start out as a justice. She started out as well, most recently before she took this position, she was a Superior Court judge, which means she's seen a lot of cases, from murder to you name it. And so, but I know her to be a very dear, wonderful Christian-spirited lady, a good woman. And so we're so glad to have you in the room tonight. We also have a very, very dear friend. I think it would be appropriate to recognize our medical director foremost, and Dr. James Rogan. Dr. James Rogan is standing. Come on, give him his bow. Dr. James Rogan and I, we sort of go way back like a Cadillac. And but we've been knowing each other for a long, I don't know, about 33 years. And just a good man, and just loves family and loves the community and loves medicine. He's married to medicine. He loves medicine, loves what he does. And so thank you for being able to be the watchful hand over everything that we do. It's very important to be under the watchful hands of practitioners. Not certainly want to make sure that we give our dear friend, Dr. Audra Arona, who is the medical director for public health in, I want to say, Gwinnett County, Rockdale, Newton. I think she sort of has her arms around Georgia. Stand, Dr. Arona, take your bow. Very, very wonderful, spirited lady. I had an opportunity. We have a lot of things going on in the great state of Georgia that we don't talk about publicly. We normally have people to sign NDAs before we disclose certain information. But I happened to be in a meeting, Dr. Breck, with Dr. Arona, and she looked me right in the eyes as if she was looking through my soul. And she says, whatever we can do to help you, John, we'll help you. And I felt it in my spirit, and I kind of recalled back. I was like, wow, she meant that. And a few days, maybe a week or so later, I called her, and I told her, you know, I think I'll take you up on that offer. And she says, I'll call a meeting from around the great state of Georgia, and I'll make sure that the support that you need in this great state, that you get it. And I says, I think I've met another friend. And so thank you so much, Dr. Rona. Dr. Larry Breck and I have been dear friends for many, many years. And Dr. Breck is an ophthalmologist. Dr. Breck worked with, and I don't particularly like to say people work for me, because I think that's where I come from. We say that's called getting the big head. He worked with me, and certainly, definitely his license supersedes my license. So it's very difficult for a practitioner on his level to work for just a lowly optician. So we worked together, but Dr. Larry Breck was one of the ophthalmologists, him and Dr. Eddie Harris, that did surgery for a facility that I overseen for many years. And Dr. Breck and I have been dear friends before I started having children, and I think that's been a long time. I don't want to age myself, but so glad to have Dr. Breck here with us tonight. Also, I had an opportunity. I walked in and out of the courthouses. I have a lot of friends that are judges all throughout the great state, but most certainly in Gwinnett County. And I can definitely, you can look around the room and you see a lot of the support from Judge Rhonda Copeland Leary, Judge Tracy Mason, Judge Tracy Kaysen, and on and on and on. Just so many, Erica Dove, and you know, it's just it's a lot of them. But when you walk in and out of a courtroom, one of the first things you see before you typically see a judge, you see a very strong presence of the legal arm. When you walk in there is a very strong presence that the sheriff department is in full regalia. Sometimes they have sometimes they may have dogs. It depends on what's going on. You may pull up there and they may have an armored vehicle out there. It depends on what's going on in the county, what's going on in the state. But what I do know and what I have heard is from the judicial bench is that they do what they do with a lot greater ease by knowing that the law enforcement officers, the sheriff department, are ready and waiting to protect them and putting their own life at risk. For those ones that have been here in the metro Atlanta area for some time, you guys do remember and recall when there was an incident in Fulton County, and where one of the gentlemen that was arrested or in custody went rogue, and I think he shot and murdered a judge, and the state of Georgia was turned upside down. But we thank a dear friend Major. He's a major now. When I first met him, he had rank, but now he has a lot of rank. Major Dante Roy, take your bow, brother. Take your bow. So we've recognized each and every one of you all that are here, and I'm real big on brevity. You don't call people together and don't allow them to do what they do. So at this time, I'm going to ask that as we move expeditiously into this part of our service, I want to welcome once again, Dr. Larry Breck. He will tell you a little bit more about his matriculation in Rhodes Scholar, the gentleman. And Dr. Breck loves school so much. He's a doctor. He's at the apex of the medical profession and decided he wanted to go back and get another degree. I think his first name should be Fahrenheit and his last name should be Celsius. He just loves degrees, but he's a man of learning, a learned man, but a humble man. And I give unto you my friend, my brother, Dr. Larry Breck. Come on, brother.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that kind greeting, John. And thanks for having me out. And congratulations to you guys. This is quite important. This is big. This is a big step in your progression, and it's something you should be proud of. You've made the commitments, you made the investments, you made the sacrifice in furthering yourselves. So, you should feel really good about that. That just doesn't happen. I guess I can talk a little bit about myself. I don't like doing that, but I am an ophthalmologist. I'm a native of Memphis, Tennessee. I was an engineer, electrical engineer for about 6 years. And I was living in Indiana at the time, decided to go to medical school. And that's where I went to medical school at IU in Indiana. From there, I did my residency at the University of Tennessee in Chattanooga, Erlanger. Some of you, if you've gone through Chattanooga, you may have heard of Erlanger. And that's where I did my residency. And to back up, I did my internship in Texas and Houston. So I've kind of been all around, worked all around. And I'm currently working at Emory in LaGrange. They purchased a private practice there several years back. And that's where I'm working. And so far, so good. I'm enjoying it. I'm an ophthalmologist. What that is an eye surgeon. And when you think of things like glaucoma, cataracts, diabetic management, pink eye management, styes and all that, that's what I do. And I'm fortunate that I'm able to do that. So what I really want to talk about is what is going to be a big part of what you all do, and that's service. What you do, your talents, your gifts, what you're going to do with that is really serve people. And the word I want you all to keep and carry from tonight is the word equip. And that's a component of service that we're going to go back to a couple of times as I talk. But I want you to be equipped, and we're gonna go over that word equip. And there are a lot of different definitions, but to sum it up, it kind of means to prepare, to get ready, So that's what you're going to be doing for your patients and your communities. You want to remember that medicine is not just science, but art. So there's a component of art to it, and it's not easy dealing with people because the art, you just have to practice it, and that's the thing, I guess, that contributes to the name of the practice of medicine. You're going to have to improvise. You're going to have to be quick on your feet when you serve people. And it reminds me of this story about this doctor. He ran into his patient. He said, Jim, I've got bad news and I've got very bad news. Your test results came back. You got 24 hours to live. And Jim said, oh my God, doctor, that's horrible. What's the very bad news? Well, I've been trying to contact you since yesterday. So hopefully, you guys don't run into too many situations like that that's troubling. But the thing is, you're going to have to be flexible, quick on your feet. Patients may not always present the way you hope that they would present or want them to. We're part of a team of information gatherers. We're detectives. We're scientists. We figure stuff out. We're psychological specialists or psychologists. We end up being the advocates for the patients sometimes. So, there are a lot of roles we play. We just don't identify sickness of certain problems. Okay, so keep that in mind. And now I want to talk about how we equip our patients, because that's one of the main things, you did all this work to do, and that's to deal with patients. And I like the word patience because I think it applies to the caregiver and the patient. Both have to have patience. Now, I don't know if that contributes to the origin of the name, but you're gonna find yourself exhibiting some patience, which is quite appropriate. I went to a meeting last year, and it was more of a business-themed meeting, and I heard them talk about consumers and talk about customers, referring to the patients. And that didn't sit well with me because they're patients. Now, a patient is a special type of customer or consumer, but what differentiates a patient is that, well, one, there should be a component of relationship and intimacy. So you're not just giving somebody a widget or transferring money, purchasing this, I'll give you that. So a patient is special. So there are patients, and there's a component of stewardship with that. We have to remember that patients are vulnerable, and they're going to come in. You're going to want to do your jobs. You're going to want to work people up. You're going to want to get your information. But people are coming in, and they're coming in from a lot of different situations. You might be dealing with or talking to somebody who's in an abusive relationship. You might be talking to somebody whose son just got sent to jail. You might be talking to somebody who just got evicted. So people come in with more than what you see. So you got to kind of have a tip of the iceberg thinking or approach where what you see is not all of what you see. It's just part of it. And you just got to be forgiving with them. And a lot of them are afraid. A lot of them are hurting. A lot of them are confused and doubtful. So you guys get the opportunity when you're evaluating patients, working them up, you get the opportunity to kind of calm them down. You set the tone for the whole encounter. So that's really important. So really think about that. What you do is really important. You set the tone for the whole thing. So we have to be sensitive, be really slow to judge. We don't want to be casting aspersions. People are people, and like I say, they have a lot behind them. One thing you're going to want to do is know your definition of value and quality. And this can be challenging because in the health field, the insurance companies, sometimes your employer, sometimes the hospitals or whoever you work for, they try to define quality and value. And many times it's quite different from how we define quality and value. They may grade you on the RVU system or whatever, but a lot of things get missed. They don't see you when you're spending extra time with a patient. They don't see you when you're thinking about that patient going home. They don't see you when you call that patient later on in the evening. They don't tally that up. They don't put that in your records. So there are some sacrifices to be made because you don't get graded or you don't get points of recognition for those things. But you have to decide, what is my definition of quality and value? And you got to ride with that. That's the thing that's going to have to sustain you. Now we're in the day of patient questionnaires. Everybody wants a good questionnaire result. We're in the day of social media where people are making comments. And you got to have thick, tough skin because people are going to say some stuff you don't like. But you got to ask yourself, am I really doing the right thing? And we want to know what they think, and we respect what they say. It's important to know what they say, but you really got to be in touch with yourselves because a lot of times they don't understand what we're doing. For example, I work with another doctor. I may have a patient coming in for a quick check, it may take 5 minutes. She may have a patient coming in for a complete exam. That might take an hour. But the patient sitting in the waiting room, they don't see that. They just see, hey, one patient came in, I've been here waiting, and they went to see the other doctor. What's going on? So this guy's, they're slow. Is he a bad doctor? I don't think so, but that's how things are set up. So that's something you really have to think about. There's a saying, the customer is always right. And in general, that adage is kind of accurate, but definitely in medicine, that's not accurate. Now, what they say is important. When you have a patient, it's really key to listen to them. Most of the time, they'll fill you in on what you need to know if you're just patient and talk to them. They'll spill the beans. They'll tell you exactly what's wrong with them. But they don't know how to fix it. They don't know how to diagnose it. So the patient is not always right. So we have to remember that. Now, we have to be respectful. And we don't have to say, you don't know what you're talking about, But we have to use it as an opportunity to accompany them through that encounter until they know what's going on. And that's going to take some patience. So you want to be able to listen very carefully. Patience, that's why we work, for patience. But again, the climate is changing. People are becoming more volatile, more short-tempered. We hear about it all the time. Doctors being attacked. People being attacked at school, people being attacked at church, So you really have to watch yourself and pay really close attention to what's going on with people and really feel them out. I call it using your spidey senses. You're going to have to use that too. And sometimes you can't explain stuff. You just know things aren't right. And that counts, though. That counts, and you have to follow up on that. I believe in safety, too. And for the patient, we should make sure the patient is safe, their information is safe, but we have to be safe, too. And again, you're going to run into some patients who are going to be angry, who's going to be bent out of shape for whatever reason. And you're going to have to know how to protect yourself and know what that culture is or what the rules or laws are in your establishment. And I've had to fire a few patients recently. I mean, come in, raising Cain, getting everybody worked up, scaring the other patients, getting them nerved up, scaring me because I'm too old to run. I might have 8 seconds of fight in me, but if it goes beyond 8 seconds, I'm going to lose, So you got to know what the limits are in dealing with them. So we want to equip the patients, though. Now, the other thing we want to do is equip our team members. We want to equip our coworkers. And you really want to know your culture. You want to know your values, your mission statement, whatever the goals are. And you don't want to compromise the culture. Now, it's important to be yourselves. We are individuals, we count, but you got to know where your individuality runs into the culture, the edge of the culture. You got to respect the culture. You can't compromise the culture. You're a Georgia Bulldog fan, they wear red and black. And, now how does it look if a player's just saying, look, my favorite color is blue. That's just me. I wear blue. That's not going to work. That's not part of the culture. That's not what they wear, And it's going to upset the team. So you want to know that. And the team is first. I have some techs I work with, and they're great, but some of them are set in their ways. And they say, well, this is just the way I do it, and I've been getting great results. And I actually do it faster. And I say, well, maybe you do, but not so fast. For example, if one tech takes 5 minutes to work up a patient, but they pass the patient on and the other tech takes 10 minutes to work up the patient, and then the patient gets to me and it takes me 15 minutes, if you look at that system, that's 30 minutes. But the first person only took 5 minutes because she did it her way. But if she did it the way that we do it in the system, it might take longer. It might take her 10 minutes. But then when the patient gets to the next person, it takes them 5 minutes. And then when it gets to me, it takes me 5 minutes. That's 20 minutes. So even though that first person took longer, if you look at the sequence of events in the system, that's, we gained 10 minutes. So you gotta look at how you fit in. You're part of the team. Now, if you're really sold on your methodology or the way you're doing things, that's okay. Just jot it down, bring some data to the next meeting, and explain to folks, okay, I got some information. This is why my way is better or going to be more helpful. But let folks see. But don't just say, this is the way I do it. I like the way I do it. And that's the way I'm going to keep doing it. And y'all just going to have to suck it up. That's not being a good team member. And one thing you got to remember, resist talking too much. It is going to be tempting because you're going to know stuff. But again, I got one tech, she comes in, oh, your eyes are dry. You need drops. And I get to the patient, they got macular degeneration. Now I got to explain, okay, well, the patient's thinking, I'll be able to see if I just get drops. I'm like, well, probably won't regain your vision. Now I have to undo the bad information that was given to her by the tech who couldn't keep her, in her. And I got to deliver all this worse information in contrast to the false hope that she was given. So, I know it's going to be tough. You get excited when you know stuff, when you see stuff, you recognize stuff. I know what that is. But just know that it's the doctor's job to finish that off. I remember when I was young, there was something my mom used to say, and, I might be dating myself, but she'd just say, hush. Boy, hush. That means shut up, or zip it. And sometimes you just hold it, She'd give me the hush mouth and everything, like upside down smile. So just hold it to yourself. You'll get a chance to do that and contribute. So we learn how to equip the patient, we learn how to equip the team, but most importantly, or just as importantly, I should say, we have to equip ourselves. You equip yourselves. That's part of what you're doing or have done that's led you to this point tonight. You got to remember that your learning is ongoing. You're just getting started because things are changing as we speak in science, technology, and you want to be current. You want to make sure you know what's going on. But just as important, you're going to have to learn how to vet information because we're hearing information that may be true, may be false. You got Chat GPT, AI. So you're going to have to really study hard and look over your resources, the information, to really take your time and vet it, and that just leads me to the next statement of saying you got to know what's true. And there's been a lot of talk lately about what is truth, and it's been political, religious, educational, whatever. I don't operate in those industries, but I know in medicine, you better know what's true. You better know what's true. And you got to know the truth. Because if you don't know what's true, people will get hurt. You will not give good service. So in medicine, this information that you have, that you're privy to, is totally independent of what you think, what you like, or how you feel. In this information that's been vetted. The other thing, you're going to have to remember that you want to have balance. Balance in your lives. Your work is fun, you do things, you have a good time, you help people, but you got to understand the relationship between work and not being at work, and how to flow in and out of both of those places comfortably and live your full lives in both places with your families or friends or whatever. You got to figure that out. And it takes time and practice, but you get it done. But you need that balance. You need that balance. So finally, you just have to remember that you all have been equipped and bestowed with certain gifts and talents and dreams and passions, and you have an opportunity to utilize those. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. This involves a tremendous amount of stewardship, but obviously you're all up for it. Okay? Stay on the path and show the world what you're made of. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Breck. One of the things I'll say real quick, and working up under ophthalmologists like Dr. Breck, one of the things that I found as a technician that they rely on here, and Dr. Ronald, Dr. Rogan, is for you to be able to think with them, not for them. They really kind of want you to know, like Justice Coven's JA, they kind of want you to know what they're going to do next, or what they're kind of sort of thinking about. So I would definitely want to tell us to make sure, because we work up under their license. We don't work, we're not their colleagues. We're not their equals. We're up under them. And no matter what you've seen or know on the internet, you can't try to supersede their license. So you want to definitely, everything he's saying is very important. And thank you so much. Give him another hand clap. It's strong. Getting ready to move now to another part of our segment of our ceremony. This is really important because what I won't do is steal her thunder. I think she'll give you a little bit of definition of exactly why it's important. But it's definitely one of these things that you want to kind of lend ear to, because it's going to be really, really important what Dr. Rohn is getting ready to share with us, because it's sort of giving us our marching orders. So I give unto you Dr. Audrey Arona. Come on up, Dr. Arona.
Wow, good evening, and thank you so much, John. You just always say such kind things. And Dr. Brack, I tell you, what you said resonated so much with me. And I always call them patients because I love my patients. I don't love customers or clients, but I love my patients, right? So that's why patience has always been the word I use as well. But congratulations to the graduates here. I just want to talk to you a little bit. First of all, let me tell you about me, and I never go anywhere without a presentation. So I am an OBGYN doctor by practice. I had the privilege, right, Dr. Brack, the privilege to practice medicine and deliver babies for almost 30 years. 20 of those years were in Gwinnett County. Before I got a calling to take over the public health department, it made absolutely no sense to me to do that, financially or otherwise. And but it was just a calling that I had, and I just couldn't. I never in a million years ever thought I'd close my practice, which I loved. But in any event, I did that. And so I decided to take this, and so now I'm the CEO and district medical director for the largest public health, most populous public health district in Georgia. Covers Gwinnett, Newton, and Rockdale, and we do a whole lot of things that I won't bore you with. But you are all medical providers too. The allied healthcare workers are medical providers as well, and you need to think of yourself that way. With all of your certificates tonight that you're getting, it's important for you to understand a few things, and I kept notes here because I have a tendency to go off track, and I know how important time is to John. But first of all, we have to ensure the well-being of our patients. We provide accurate diagnosis, okay? We provide options for treatment and care, and we uphold professional standards of care. You all will be doing that as well. You'll also be responsible for informed consent, all right? Very important. Respecting patient autonomy, all right? And ongoing education in your particular field so that you can be able to practice the best practices that you know of in your field. So, but what and how are we also to remember the moral and ethical responsibilities that we have as well? And so the Hippocratic Oath is the earliest expression of medical ethics and is still used today. All medical students take this oath when they graduate, and you really should too. It's named after an ancient Greek physician called Hippocrates, who is thought to have authored this oath, although there's a lot of controversy about that because they actually think one of his students did. But it's more, when we think of Hippocratic Oath, the words we think of are do no harm, right? But it's actually more than that. It's a lot more than that. It's a promise to benefit other people. It's a promise to always put patients above yourself, free of corruption, free of mischief, different things like that, but also to keep confidentiality of patients as sacred. And that's really important. Dr. Brack talked a little bit about how important that is. And we need to respect our patients at all times. But by taking this oath, medical professionals like yourselves commit to upholding these ethical and moral standards and principles, which are really crucial for maintaining trust and confidence between healthcare providers and patients, as well as ensuring the highest standard of care that and ethical conduct, of course, in the medical profession. But how do we do that? How do we, we're human, how do we be sure that we never violate this trust, right? So when we want to do something, what do? We develop a tool. If you want to play great football, you have to go to practice. You have a tool. You have to utilize. If we want to build something, we need a tool. If you want to graduate from a certificate program, you have a tool called a plan that tells you exactly what courses you need to take to gain, whatever. So if we think about this as a tool, if you want to maintain a code of ethics and code of morals like the Hippocratic Oath, we have to intentionally create a tool that'll help you do that. So I'm going to share my tool with you that I've learned since medical school. That was a long time ago. But my tool is my mindset, okay? And a mindset is your fundamental mental attitude that determines how you're going to perceive, interpret, and respond to situations that you're going to encounter and challenges that you encounter every single day, right? It's also the basis from which you approach every single patient that you encounter is this. And it's important to check your mindset every single day because that allows you to consciously choose your approach to your work that day. So this way, if you always think about this, you're going to cultivate a positive attitude. You're going to stay resilient to adversity that's inevitably going to happen, and also make decisions that align with your mindset, which is your Hippocratic Oath. All right, so mindset is actually an acronym. So I'll teach you this, and I got this years ago from Tim Tebow, so I'm going to borrow from him. But M stands for know your maker, okay? Everything that we use has a purpose, everything, and it was designed for a purpose. Our cell phones, our ovens, the shoes we wear, computers we use, the cars we drive, we were all uniquely designed for a specific purpose also. And knowing our maker helps us identify our purpose, and knowing our purpose helps you stay focused. All right, so that's M. Next one is I, and this is be interruptible. So our best laid plans always get interrupted. And what is our reaction? We get frustrated, we get annoyed, and we get angry, right? But the truth is that all of our plans change. And so we have to embrace change, and we have to be okay with it, and we have to expect it and go with it, right? It's all about your mindset. Okay, so when you're interrupted, you won't get rattled if your mindset is that I'm comfortable with interruption, I'm okay, I can do this, and it doesn't have to set you off on fire every single time it happens. So expect it and be okay with being interrupted. So now, say you're in the Super Bowl. This is for you, my friend, my football friend, and you're 6 points behind. There's 2 minutes left in the game, and you're on the 20-yard line of your opponent. What does the offensive coach, what's his play? What does he call? He calls for what's called a 2-minute drill, right? Am I right? And a 2-minute drill means you hurry up to get to the line and you make every single second count for the rest of that game to try to make a difference, right? And the truth is that our lives are nothing but a bunch of 2-minute drills. No one here knows how much longer we're going to be here on this earth. So we have to act now, right? We have to make a difference, now. We help the hungry. We feed the people who are hungry. We help the hurting. We give hope. We defend those who are treated unjustly, like our judge does, right? So we have to act now, and that's really important. Every day, think about that. The D means to be different, okay? Our world is really ugly right now. It seems very cruel and feels very evil. But in order to make a difference, we have to be different, and we have to set our mindset every day that we are going to be different, and we're going to live through our purposes. So be determined to be the kind of medical provider that remembers daily the significance and commitment that they're making to that Hippocratic Oath, okay? Next one is S. We talked about passion, my friend, right? S means to be willing to suffer. So we're all passionate about everything, but the Greek and Latin word for passion actually means to suffer. So if we're passionate about something, we're willing to sacrifice and suffer for that. right? Which is really important. So we have to stand up for our patients, we have to sacrifice for our patients, and we have to fight for what matters to them and to us as healthcare providers. Next is E, strive for excellence in every single thing that you do. High-quality medical services lead to better patient outcomes, we know that. It decreases complications, and it also increases patient satisfaction, which is going to really help your relationships with patients. Excellent medical services prioritizes patient safety. There are decreased errors, if you're paying attention to that. And there's also less adverse events that happen. And excellence in medical care enhance patient trust and confidence in you, like we've talked about before, and it's the key to these strong relationships between medical providers, allied healthcare providers, and patients, for sure. And your professional reputation rests on this as well. Lastly, love to the end. This is my favorite. And this is a medical provider's love for their work. It comes from a genuine desire to alleviate suffering, to promote healing, and to improve the quality of life for every single patient that you encounter, right? A true love for healthcare is a driving force that truly motivates us to go above and beyond the delivery of just good medical care. And it also makes an amazing positive difference in the rest of, in life itself. So I hope that you see the value of this tool and that you'll actually use it, because I use it every day, even in public health these days. What you will discover is not only will your focus be grounded in the Hippocratic Oath, but you're also going to find that its underlying principles really of ethics, integrity, and accountability and responsibility really apply to other areas of your life as well. So that's it. Thank you very much. And that's my cell phone number, so you can write that down and keep it. And if you ever need anything, please text or call me.
Give her another hand clap, guys. I was shocked when I met Dr. Audrey, and she was in a meeting, and she said, "It's my cell phone number. Call me if you need me." I said to myself, "You might not want to give me that, because I'm surely going to be calling you and sending you some texts." It sort of reminds me of Justice Colvin. When I first met her, she said, "Just call me Verda." I said, "Call you what?" She said, "Call me Verda." So one thing I notice about all of these individuals that have stood here, and I watch people a lot. I spend a considerable amount of time watching people, not listening to them, watching them, their every move. They're extremely humble, and it rubs off on me, and it keeps me grounded, even when I want to not be that way. It forces me to put myself in check. So at this time, it's amazing how when we have something traumatic take place in our life, somebody is trying to break in your house or do harm to you, you generally don't call the fire department. You call the police officers. You have a loved one that's incarcerated. You want to make sure that they're safe. At this time, we had an opportunity to have Officer Royal, and I like that last name. Yeah, have you ever heard or seen something that you wish you kind of take ownership of? It's like, how did you get a last name like Royal? That's pretty special. Y'all give him a hand clap as he comes.
John. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, especially to help these graduates celebrate their accomplishments. Before I go any further, I would like to say that I had a life-changing moment today that I know where it came from, but I want to share it with you all. As I'm looking down at my notes, I printed them out earlier today. So I printed it to the copier. I went and sat at my desk and I started looking at it. Like, man, this copier messed up. Everything's blurry. So I reprinted it to a different printer. I went and grabbed it off that one. I didn't even look at it. Went back, sat at my desk, and so I'm sitting there and needless to say, it was neither one of the printers. So it's ironic that I'm here with you. So I guess that's some kind of sign or symbol that my vision is going bad. So it had nothing to do with the printers. It was my vision. So I had to increase the font.
Right.
And I also wish I would have, Dr. Arona, I wish I would have been smart enough to create me a PowerPoint, because that's typically what I do. But anyway, again, it's an honor to be here to celebrate with everyone on behalf of the graduates. My name is Dante Roy. I'm a major with the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office. I've been in law enforcement now for right at about 30 years. So I guess that's probably why my vision is kind of getting away from me a little bit. If I speak a little slow, forgive me. I'm a country boy. I somehow made my way up here from Cordele, Georgia. So I've been up here for 27 years. Daughter turned 29 years old yesterday. I have a son 19 years old. I must say that I would have rather worn a really nice tailored suit like these gentlemen over here, but instead I chose to wear this uniform. Because with this uniform, it comes a certain amount of respect. Whether it be a little kid walking up to me and just slightly touching my hand, or an adult just simply saying, hello, sir, no matter what their age is. It kind of throws you a little bit. Or just someone just saying, I appreciate your service. And that goes a long way, and it means a lot. But with that respect, it comes a lot of responsibility as well. But also, I would say that this uniform, like any other uniform, I'm sure when you put on your white lab coat, that represents something. That represents an authority. And if you're going to be serving as an authority figure, especially if you're going to be responsible for others, and let me back up. I'm gonna have to read off my thing because I don't want to get too far off track. So let me say, I'm sure that applies to other professionals as well when we're talking about wearing these uniforms, as well if it's the judge wearing her robe, firefighter in his uniform, or if it's something in the medical field with you all who will be wearing your scrubs or your white lab coat. That all means something. We're often the recipient of all of these wonderful things, but with that respect comes much responsibility, as I said earlier, especially if you're in a management position or in a position where you're responsible for others. It could be a staff member, it could be an equal, or it could even be your boss yet at that point. We all want someone that we can depend on, but it requires us as individuals to be able to humble ourselves at times and to be accountable when it matters the most. Some may think this to be a sign of weakness, but they're far from the truth. It takes great strength to do so, and it earns you not only the respect of those who follow, but as well as others that lead as well when they see you leading as an example and setting that example for others. Although respect is universal in many ways, it requires you to know your self-worth. So I say to you all, you graduates, know your self-worth. And I have an acronym as well for respect. The R is responsible. Be responsible. Take ownership of your actions, whether it's a mistake or whatever the case it may be. Be responsible. Be empathetic. There's nothing wrong with taking the time to try to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to help yourself understand. That's what it takes some time, especially when you're serving others. Be selfless. It's okay to come in second sometimes. We don't have to always be first. You never know what's waiting for you when you cross that line. It might hit him or her before it hits you. And I'm okay with that sometimes. As long as you finish. Be persistent. Don't give up. Be persistent. And that's a part of that finishing. Make sure you cross that line. Be persistent in everything that you do. Be encouraging. Uplift those. I said, whether they're an equal or whoever they may be, everyone goes through something. And if you're going to be in that position to be a leader, it's okay to be encouraging. Uplift others. You never know when someone may need it. Be considerate. Be understanding. I'm responsible for over 100 individuals. And believe you me, they come to me every day with something. Whether it makes sense or not. I have to sit there and I have to be all these things to make a logical decision. Whether I have to tell them no or yes. But I have to stand on that. And they have to understand. And they, for some reason, over these 20-something years as a supervisor, they've all understood. They've all understood. Most of all, be truthful. Not just in your duties, but with yourselves. Know your limits, know your limitations. If you know you're weak in this area, train, apply. Put in to go to that training to be more effective. Once you apply all these things to your character, I promise you, you will be respected. Thank you.
Thank you so much, officer. What a blessing. I guess y'all can tell, I like him. We get along well. And he wears it, that garment of authority. He wears it with pride, but you can tell he's much more than just an officer. There's a human being up under that uniform. And I love that about you, my brother. Thank you so much. As we move a little bit further down, one of the things that we want to make sure that, I'm just so glad that I had an opportunity to make the acquaintance of Justice Verda Colvin as a justice, and not a judge. And she doesn't know that I know this, but someone showed me a YouTube on her one day, and she was getting on a little boy in the courtroom, and she was letting him know. The mama came out of it, and she wasn't being mean, but she was just letting him know, you need to get yourself together. And sometimes we have to have that tough conversation. And every now and then, she told me just a few minutes ago, she told me in that same vein, she looked at me and I wouldn't say she was being mean, but she said, slow down. And I said, yes, ma'am. I forgot. I said, my mama didn't come up here from North Carolina or something? And but so glad to have Justice Colvin here, and as she comes now in her own way, I say that you come on up, Justice, and just and leave your words and impression on her.
Okay, so Reverend Marsh, being who he is, will invite you places and you come to support, and then he sends you a copy of the program and you see your closing remarks. So on behalf of the Georgia Supreme Court, it is a pleasure to be here with you, each of you graduates. What you've heard today has been eye-opening for me to even hear, and I hope for you. So one thing you were told by Dr. Arana is having a mindset. That's so important for any and everything you do. But 3 other words you heard: service from Dr. Brack, leadership from Reverend Marsh, because that's what he's done throughout this certificate, tried to show you how to be leaders, and then ethics. That's another component for Dr. Arona. So I want to say something to you all. You're going into the service industry, as you've heard. You're serving people. So I want to give you a quote that I share often with other people that I think is profound for tonight. If service is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you. I'll say that again. If service is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you. And so remember that as you're serving people in the roles as leaders, that your role is to serve. And as a servant, you become a leader. They say leaders empower other people. Well, you can't empower anyone if you're unwilling to serve. And serve means lowering yourself so that you can see them, as Dr. Arona said, and they become your patients, as Dr. Brock said. And because they're your patients, you're serving them. And that's the true mark of a leader. You will begin to recognize problems before they become emergencies. That's the clue and the whole thing about what you're doing. You recognize problems at the beginning so there won't be an emergency. So I want to just congratulate each of you all for having the mindset to get the education and the training to propel you to greater heights. And no matter what you do, never stop growing. As long as we live, we should be growing. When you stop learning, you start dying, because nothing can stay stagnant. Think about it. Water that stays stagnant ends up smelling. It gets stinky. It gets muddy. So the only way you can make sure you don't do that in life is to continue to grow. Just let this be the beginning point of the continual growth throughout your life, and you will find that you will be pleased with the journey that you take, and at the end of your road, it will be well with your soul. Again, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Justice. What a blessing to have each and every one of our presenters that's come tonight. So glad to see Dr. Betty Dillon come in here as well, a dentist, a friend of ours, and is a part of this whole leadership team and making sure that we just kind of do things. I see Dr. One of the other doctors there. He sort of smiled because we all kind of started in the same area. Dr. Johnson just kind of smiled because we all kind of started 30 years ago. It's amazing how I think that Major Dante said it, how things just come full circle. We have a couple of presentations to our special guests, and right before we give you all your certificates, I just want to honor just a few of our guests. I know a few of you all may be wondering why is this globe here? We want to make an impression. One of the things, I'll say this to you real quick. I've always told my children, my 4 children, Courtney, John, and Joshua, and Lydia, you're not just American citizens. You are American citizens. And I always told my children, I want you to be a great American. But you're much more than an American citizen. You're a global citizen. The world belongs to you. Don't limit yourself to just thinking about America only. America is our home. We stand, we salute the flag, we honor that. But I want you to understand that the world is yours. And we have the globe here tonight, just letting you know that we're here and we want to impact the whole entire nation, the whole entire world. And the first person I want to recognize here is Justice. I want you to come on up, Justice Verda. MJ, I want you to bring me one of the worlds with you. Bring it on up. Just bring a globe. We want to give you one of our honorary certificates to make sure that you understand that we appreciate your time, we appreciate your service, and give you one of the honorary certificates to make sure that you understand that we appreciate you. And also, as my dear student is coming, we want to make sure that we bequeath this unto you, okay? And this is on the behalf of National Education 2020 Foundation.
And thank you for investing in others.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Come on, give it. We try to do ladies first. Dr. Rum, if you'll come on up, give her a hand as she comes. MJ, I don't know why I didn't tell you to bring all those worlds up here. I'm just, But thank you so much, my new friend. If you want to get a picture of this stuff, thank you so much for being with us tonight, and thank you for your time. And we also have you're impacting the world as well. And thank you for your what you do. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your suffering. Thank you for caring. And so there you have it.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
God bless you.
All right. Dr. Larry Breck, if you'll come on up. I think I have another world in my hand. Come on up. Dr. Breck, this is you, my brother. Yes, sir, definitely, man. You know, it's been a journey. God is good, ain't he? All the time. Yes, sir, this is you, brother. Thank you so much for what you do, and thank you for a steady hand as you perform surgery. How many millimeters are when you're doing cataract surgery? When you're doing cataract surgery, you're wearing those microscopes. How much space and diameters are you working within?
Probably within maybe like 6 millimeters.
6 millimeters. So you have to have a steady hand. Thank you for that steady hand.
Thank
And
the
thank you
Lord.
thank you for what you do, man.
Thank you for allowing me to be part of it.
Yes, sir, definitely, man. We're gonna get that in there. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I reserved something different for my dear friend because he doesn't know this, but I'm a master chess player. I never taught my children how to play checkers. They don't even know what a checkerboard looks like. Life is about chess. When you're playing the game of chess, you always have to be a minimum of 4 moves ahead. You have to look on the other side of your opponent's eyes, and you have to know exactly what move he or she is going to make 4 moves before they make that move. And a lot of people tend to believe that the king is one of the most powerful players on the board. Nothing could be further from the truth. The king has very little movement, and the king is always in a position of vulnerability. Men, I hate to tell you this, but without the queen, you're in a world of hurt. Because she has the ability to really protect you and move around the board in a very precision way. And sometimes the queen has to know how to sit still, even though she has the ability to leap across the chessboard. And when I look at my other components on the other end, they have the ability to move pretty good, but they can only go vertical and horizontal. But when I look at my knight, I can take my knight and do things with my knight that will blow your mind. I can take any component that you have on the board with my knight. And so, Major, Dante, come on up, my brother. He's a knight. He has the ability to move and navigate in ways that you could not imagine. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, my brother.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And keep making those moves, Doc.
Always.
We appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
You're the knight, brother.
All right. Don't be jealous, Doc. That's
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Give them a hand, guys. As we prepare now, I'm going to ask that all of our guests and all of our speakers that will come, I most certainly want our medical director. I wasn't sure that Dr. Rogan would be here tonight, but he is here, so I want him to come first. And as he comes, Dr. Rogan is who allows us to do what we do. We can't do anything in some of those areas that we do without this gentleman right here. He has a very heavy hand. And so I'm going to call your name. I like to call. Chloe Astor, come on up, young lady. Give her a hand clap. I'm going to give you this. I want you to hold it and just start shaking hands, and there you go. Y'all go, give us some love now. Give us some love. Give us some love. Give us some love. Okay, you can stand right there, Chloe. MJ, Margot. There you go. Do what you do. Miss Lisa Harris, come on up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Lisa. This is about your 5th one. You, come on, she keeps getting certificates and degrees. Miss Cassandra Foster. I've been working you today. Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am. God bless you. No, bro, Bob, I had to put you in the back. I had to let the ladies go first, bro. Shiver is not dead. Come on up, bro. Bobby Trump. Y'all get Bobby some more of that good old love. Bobby's not walking, he's strolling. There you go, Bobby. Bless you, boy. Yes, sir. Right there, Bobby. Y'all give him a hand.
I can't do that
Let me get over here with my good doctor. And I want to thank each and every one of you all for being here. And so these individuals are gainfully employed. And so this organization, come on. We don't have anyone that makes less than $20 an hour. So when people keep saying there's a workforce development issue, and I think the workforce, and I can't say for everything, but I think one of the workforce development issues is people are not in, this is my humble opinion, may not be invested in people, but we've invested and we're going to continue to invest in our staff, our students, and so we're just thankful and grateful for each and one of our presenters, and we can't thank the parents, the students, the husbands, the wives, the friends, the kin, and the boos and buettes for being here tonight. But thank you all so much for being here. You guys have a wonderful and a great night. There's no rhyme or a reason to the way you go up there and eat, but just eat until your heart's content. And thank you so much. God bless you. And we'll be looking to working with you all very soon. Thank you so much for coming. And be safe. I like the Chloe Astor. Come on up, young lady. Give her a hand clap. I'm going to give you this. I want you to hold it and just start shaking hands, and there you go. Y'all go, give us some love now. Give us some love. Give us some love. Give us some love. Okay, you can stand right there, Chloe. MJ, Margot. There you go. Do what you do. Miss Lisa Harris, come on up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Lisa. This is about your 5th one. You, come on, she keeps getting certificates and degrees. Miss Cassandra Foster. I've been working you today. There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am. God bless you. No, bro, Bob, I had to put you in the back. I had to let the ladies go first, bro. Shiver is not dead. Come on up, bro. Bobby Trump. Y'all get Bobby some more of that good old love. Bobby's not walking, he's strolling. There you go, Bobby. Bless you, boy. Yes, sir. Right there, Bobby. Y'all give him a hand.
I can't do that
Thank you. That's the pancake eater. He said, Daddy, y'all want to get some pictures right quick? Let me get over here with my good doctor. Justice, come stand with us. Okay. Come right here, Justice. Right there. Okay, look at this way, everybody, look at this way, good. One more, one more. All right, thank you. Did you get the full thing? I think Ashley says. All right. Thank you all so much. Give them a hand clap, guys. All right, so listen, we're not gonna have any altar calls, because this is not church. Listen, guys, we did this in, we did it in a little bit, right up under an hour. So we're gonna take a few pictures, but one thing I can tell you this, if you leave before, and we got food, but if you leave before 8, you don't have to pay. If you leave after 8, you gotta pay. And so we have 45 minutes, so we can grab us something to eat. We have hand sanitation over there, so you can, wash the fellowship off. And I want to thank each and every one of you all for being here. And so these individuals are gainfully employed. And so this organization, come on. We don't have anyone that makes less than $20 an hour. So when people keep saying there's a workforce development issue, and I think the workforce, and I can't say for everything, but I think one of the workforce development issues is people are not this is my humble opinion, may not be invested in people, but we've invested, and we're going to continue to invest in our staff, our students, and so we're just thankful and grateful for each and one of our presenters, and we can't thank the parents, the students, the husbands, the wives, the friends, the kin, and the boos and buettes. And thank you so much. God bless you. And we'll be looking to working with you all very soon. Thank you so much for coming, and be safe.